I'm moving today. I'm going back to Michigan about 11 months ago, 12 months ago now, almost exactly. I moved down to South Carolina. I came down to be closer to my family. I was having a rough time emotionally. And I just knew that, being near people who could support me at least, or that I could be close to, that I could share some reciprocal love, would get me where I needed to be. The year I came down, that didn't happen. I primarily spent it in my house alone. And that brings the question of, did I make a mistake? I came down here, I moved across the country, uprooted my entire life, got rid of a ton of things that I owned that were very valuable, did the whole nine. There is a lot that goes into moving across the country. And the question becomes, did I make a mistake? And as I'm sitting here literally on the trailer of the U-Haul, I have to be honest with you, no, I did not make a mistake. I made the best decision I absolutely could have in the moment. I think a lot of times when we're looking back on decisions, there's this tendency to retroactively give ourselves more wisdom than we had in the moment. As I said, I was in a bad place emotionally. I knew what I needed. I knew where to go get it. I talked to both of my parents. The parent that was most open to giving it to me in that exact moment, I went to them. It's not possible for that to be a mistake, right? So it's not possible for that kind of decision in life to be a mistake, really. Now, I could be harder on myself, right? And I could say, you never had a great relationship with your dad. Why would you even go close to him? Well, very simply, it wasn't just him. It was the entire side of my family, right? So that gave me the opportunity to hang out with people I've never gotten to spend a lot of time around. Running the Butters has allowed me a freedom that I've never really known before. And this was the first time where I was like, you know what? I don't have to just stay in Ypsilanti. I can literally go anywhere in the country that I want to. I work from home. I have the income to afford a big enough house in any suburb or whatever. Like, I can do this. And it's not just the income. I have the ability. And as a person who suffers from ADHD and autism, a lot of people don't realize that even people who are the most functional can't necessarily live on their own. I'm one of those people where it depends on how big my life is, and with how big the Butters is, it's very difficult, which is what led me down here. So now I'm heading back to Michigan. And the point is to simply pick up, not exactly where I left off, to just pick up my life again. I didn't know at that time that this year was just going to be so... I didn't know that I would still end up spending the holidays alone. It sucks. But truthfully, I had to move and I had to get away from that place. And I made a choice that was something new with the freedom that I had. And I'm honestly really proud of myself for being able to do it. I came down and I got myself together. I didn't necessarily get all the support that I needed, but I got enough and away from, the things that were stressing me enough to get myself in a headspace that I could make some better decisions going forward. Last video, we talked about how pausing is a part of the plan. How, when I found out that my landlord was going to sell the house, I immediately did all the things you're supposed to do. Started packing, I started applying for houses, I got my finances together, yada, yada, did the whole nine. But then I did that very quickly, and then there was not much left to do. The main thing was that I was looking for a house, and I could have taken the house that was, $2,500, or I could have taken the one that was $1,350. I ended up about $1,500. Now, considering I've been paying $2,000 a month for the last 5 years, renting, I could have owned a house. Part of the reason I don't is because the places that I was renting they weren't homes. The first two were apartments, yada, yada. That pause allowed me to find a home that is 25% cheaper than what I've been paying for the last 5 years. It's big. It's in the city that I want it to be in. It's in a neighborhood that I want it to be in. And honestly, I feel like not only did I not make a mistake, but I just simply made the right decision. I can look back to 2025, 2024, when I was deciding, what was happening in my life and how I wanted to, get the support that I needed, and say that, it's obviously not going to be the connection. And I was right. But I also said that essentially I just wanted to see what it was like. There were so many factors to the decision to move down here. It's usually not just one thing. And I want to remind you that when you're making big swings in life on this road to getting the things that you want, sometimes you're going to have to make some decisions. And sometimes those decisions might not work out for the main reason. But every decision is usually so complex and multifaceted and feeding so many different things within us that when we're looking back, that we take in the sum of the entire experience. I wanted to see what it was like down here. I wanted to get closer to all of my family members. I wanted to see what the side of the family was like. I wanted to see what characteristics we shared in common. I wanted to spend more time with my nieces and nephews. I wanted to see if I could connect with my dad. There were all these like possibilities, curiosities, this sense of adventure. And this adventure might be over, but I'm heading off to my next one. I already have the house. I move in a couple of days, probably tomorrow. I say probably because now that I have the house and everything's on the truck, I can chill here for a couple of days. I can spend some time with my stepmom and my nephews and my sister. But I probably will just get on the road because I am excited to start this next part of my adventure. I didn't want to have to give up all the things that I had in Michigan just for the support or like the possibility of support down here. I didn't want to have to. And now that I know more clearly the things that I'm needing, I can go back. My mind's clear. I can go get the social stuff that I want. I can go ride my bike in the park, which, believe it or not, South Carolina, as beautiful as this is, they don't really have parks. And truthfully, moving somewhere that I couldn't really ride my bike, but it was gorgeous, that was the mistake. That was truly the mistake. My dad said move to Aiken. I really should have gone ahead and moved to Columbia. Now, things might have totally worked out differently. And I might not be moving back to Michigan, but we're here now and we'll see what tomorrow holds. I'm approaching these next years of my life with curiosity and optimism and a sense of adventure. I'm only 38. I've got a lot of life left ahead of me, and it wasn't a mistake. And no matter what you're thinking about in your life and the decisions that you made, it probably wasn't a mistake either. You did the best you could. You made the decision that you thought was best, genuinely. Most people do. So if your decision didn't work out, hold your head high and keep going to the next one. Sometimes when we make big decisions in life, move across the country, get married, have a baby, go to college, things don't always work out exactly how you kind of imagine them. And when that happens, we can sometimes have a tendency to look back and be like, oh, I made a mistake. I messed up. I fucked up. I'm a failure. I did that recently. I moved across the country, Michigan to South Carolina. And now I'm leaving. And I had to ask myself, did I make a mistake? But that really depends on how you look at it.